Perfect. First of all, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. So thankful to Mr. Stephen Massey for asking me to perform spoken word here at this event. I feel honored, and I hope whatever I say today is a blessing to you. My name is Titus, like you said. I was born and raised here in Springfield, Ohio. I found that I had a talent of writing and speaking at a young age, and I compiled the two together to form what is called spoken word. So I hope you all enjoy what I have written for you, and I hope it is a blessing. I believe, matter of fact, let me get some participation from the audience today. Raise your hand if you've ever had a physical wound before, a wound on your body. Like a cut, and it bled, and some of them may have gotten infected. Maybe you fell off a bike when you were young. Maybe you were sitting on a couch, and there was a wooden floor in the room, and boom, you hit your head, and there was a cut, there was a wound. We all have probably had wounds. If you lived, this far, you got to elementary school, middle school, you probably have had a wound before. Now, some of those wounds get infected. And when a wound gets infected, it doesn't only affect that part of the body, but it affects the whole entire body. And it's the same way, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. We go through things in life, and it causes us to have mental wounds. And sometimes those wounds get infected, and we don't know how to treat them. Well, I want to give you a little bit of inspiration and encouragement, because no doubt many of you have come here today with mental wounds. So I want to give you some encouragement that those wounds can turn into scars, which means that those wounds have healed. So without further ado, I would love to present this original spoken word poem to you, titled Infected Wounds. Hurt, broken, injured, your hope is stolen. Damaged, bruised, harmed, you just don't know what to do. The scenarios I mentioned above describes you. See, you were born with a mended heart, but now it's broken in two. Perhaps your father decided he no longer desired to dwell at home. So he abandoned you, leaving you, your siblings, and mom all alone. Now you don't know what to do because his presence you crave. You sit in anger, sadness, and despair because he made an escape. He had a chance to be in your life, but for some reason that chance your father refused. Now you are left with a shattered heart and a host of infected wounds. Perhaps you were molested, and now your heart is at a place where only fear and hopelessness is embedded. You felt worthless because of what was done, and now you fear to place your trust in anyone. Negative thoughts is the furniture that lies in your room. Now you are left with a shattered heart and a host of infected wounds. Ladies, perhaps you put your trust in a young man that treated you poorly. He vowed he loved you for who you are, but truly only longed for one thing. He promised he would love and care for you, but soon that promise he neglected. He tricked you and received what he wanted and then made a premature exit. Your relationship was temporary, but you imagine you would proclaim, I do. Now you are left with a shattered heart and a host of infected wounds. Gentlemen, perhaps you've experienced some troublesome times through the years, but the stigma is that men don't cry, so when you grow emotional, you hold back your tears. The vase of pain on the inside consumes with tears, and one day you explode. Filled with anger, you become the perpetrator of a shooting to that weapon you chose to devote. Now, you spend your time time whining in a prison cell and only 4 walls is in your view, and you are left with a shattered heart and a host of infected wounds. No doubt, the scenarios I just mentioned, one, a few, or some you've experienced. But in the midst of everything that tears your heart and causes you to be laughed to scorn, the shattered season in your story can end, and the mended one you can embark upon. See, because you are beautiful on the interior and on the surface, and you can overcome any obstacle you face and fulfill your purpose. Because a warrior and overcomer are the titles that I give you. And what was once a shattered story can become a mended one filled with positive attributes, such as healed, mended, restored, hope-giving, repaired, renewed, cured. You've overcome although you've gone through. You see, the infected wounds in your story are now scars. And those scars are just a representation and a reminder of how resilient you truly are. Because just like out of a cornucopia of beautiful butterfly blooms, the purified scars that represent healing were born out of infected wounds. Thank you.